The Olympics are the epitome of sporting prowess and a spectacle of strength and agility. Are they also perhaps a chance to ogle prowess of a different type? Ogle the shirtless hunks.
We're choosing our words super carefully.
We are.
Across social media, Olympic male athletes have been making waves with more than just their sporting feats, with many people marvelling at their incredibly fit physiques. But is it OK to ogle a male athlete's looks?
We're joined now by former Olympic diver Blake Aldridge, who just doesn't see a problem. He's been ogled all his time as a sports star, and stuntman and men's coach Douglas Robson, who thinks it's wrong to objectify them. Really?
Yeah, really. I think if we're going to have a serious talk about gender parity, then we've got to say what's good for the goose is good for the gander. All right? And for years, we've been protecting women from being over-sexualized.
Rightly.
And correct. Why is it different here? And here's the question. A, do we think men and women should be treated the same? And B, do we think that sexualization of anyone is good? And if the answer is no, then someone needs to explain to me why it's different.
Do you think these men mind?
You're the man to explain it.
I mean, you've been ogled for years, right?
Oh, well, I mean, the chance would be a fine thing. But I think if you're in the public eye and you're doing a sport where you wear something like this, which is what I wear.
The trunks that
these are mine, yeah.
Competing.
Yeah, I slip into
They're
them.
very small, aren't
They are
I'm
indeed.
surprised you didn't wear them for the show.
Yeah, but I mean, you're gonna be looked at. You've got a fit body, you train hard, you should be comfortable in your own skin, and people are gonna look, you know, whether you're a man or a woman.
I think the issue, though, is just because people are gonna look, how it's then perceived is very different, and how the media then put out and send the message to other men what's acceptable. It just leads back into this idea that men are never victims and always perpetrators. And I think that is damaging to society as a whole. So sure, it's gonna happen, but I think we've got to hold ourselves to a higher standard and say, just because it's happening, it's okay.
Aren't the men being ogled for the thing which also makes them really good at diving or running, their strength and their physique, whereas the difference is that women are often being ogled for things which have got nothing to do with why they're a good sports star?
Yeah, and I think that's where the argument is if you ogle a male, is that okay? And if a male ogles a woman, is that okay? That's where the argument is. As a woman ogling a man, it seems to be okay. As a male ogling a woman, it seems to be a problem.
I mean, Douglas, what people take part in the Olympics at the moment are young, incredibly fit, have trained really hard to be there because their fitness is what's going to bring them back the medal or the position that they want. So it's part of why they're there, isn't it? It's not that they are a barrister in court standing up, and it's part of why they're there. I guess for you the concern is that the attention is only on that, and also maybe how it reflects on other young men who aren't in that peak of physical condition.
And I want to pick up on what you said there. You said young. There's a lot of young athletes there. One, as athletes, there's a lot of pressure on them. And now we're adding this pressure that it's not enough to be good, you need to also look good. And there's lots of athletes that are in great shape, but there's athletes that have different shapes, and they're not going to get celebrated just because they don't have that beauty standard. And that beauty standard does find its way through society, and you do see an increase in male body images now in young men. So we just need to be careful about what is the message we're sending to men. It's a lot of pressure on young men at the moment, and you can see it happening in mental health for men. They are struggling, and we need to just have some sort of protection. That article in question that talks about this kind of poo-poos it all off. And when talking about Liv and Krista
How are you going to police this? Because you can't stop people having their own thoughts.
This is the beauty of the Olympics, right? Yeah. There's all shapes and sizes of everybody, and they've all found their little niche that makes them amazing at what they do, whether they're big, small, fat, thin, whatever it is, they found their niche in their sport. And they're going to get looked at no matter what they're wearing.
Douglas, I've got to say, our viewers are not with you. There's a lot of them that are all for ogling, particularly Karen, who would like to ogle Ed.
Really?
She says, not in a creepy way, but you're just cute, funny and intelligent. What's not to love?
Karen, I've got the
Good morning,
trunks.
Britain, back tomorrow.